Welcome back to Friar Talk, everybody. We have big news tonight. We're recording this Friday evening. Video's coming out Saturday afternoon, but we got it, guys. We got the Padres' response to the Dodgers signing Shohei Ohtani and Tyler Glasnow, and that would be going out and dumping Matt Carpenter's contract. So we got the bounce back. Everything's fine now. Don't have to panic. Nothing like that. But yeah, in all seriousness, we're gonna talk about this trade today. McConnell, he's on my left or right. I guess right. Um, he's a Braves fan, so we're gonna talk about the Braves side, talk about the Padres side, kind of just basically talk about it. This is a win-win deal, but I don't think there's a lot to this trade. I'm happy that Matt Carpenter is gone. All in all, the trade's pretty simple. The Padres trade Matt Carpenter, Ray Kerr, and $1.5 million in return for Drew Campbell, who's a minor league outfielder, left-handed minor league outfielder. He's a AA player, doesn't have great numbers, but it's basically a salary dump, and the Padres free up $4 million in cap space. The Braves on the other side, they get a left-handed specialist in the bullpen, and they get a guy that is kind of like McConnell. Like you can get into the Brave side in a second here, but it's kind of like almost like an Ozuna situation. How the Braves had him last year, and he was just absolutely abysmal at first, and then he bounced back and actually was pretty productive for them. So the Braves were just kind of hoping, like, hey, hopefully we can, get what Matt Carpenter did in 2022, which was kind of an outlier of the past half decade for Matt Carpenter because he basically had 128 at bats in Yankee Stadium, hit a bunch of home runs, and then the Padres were like, "Nice, dude, you hit all those home runs. Every single one of them was over the short porch. Let's sign you to a $12 million 2-year contract." So that didn't work out at all. We talked about this. Padres need to actually sign first base DH guys. But yeah, they're moving on from Matt Carpenter. I'm happy that that's the case. Ray Kerr. Ray Kerr didn't really get much of an opportunity with the Padres. Like every once in a while, he would get the pitch. His numbers against lefties were really good, but against righties they were pretty abysmal. So you're basically getting a left-handed specialist in the bullpen. But McConnell, from your side, the Braves' point of view on this trade, what are you thinking?
I think the biggest thing is they're trying to retool the back end of their lineup because the last two seasons they've gone into Philadelphia and not been able to hit anybody. And I told Matt when the Braves had to play the Phillies, I was like, we're done. We can't hit the Phillies. We have no shot. Because the back end of the lineup with Ozuna, Rosario, Arcia, Michael Harris, they just really couldn't do it. And Rosario's now off the team, and the Braves are making some moves to get some left-handed guys to try and, beat up on some right-handed pitching. They went after Kalenic from Seattle, and then obviously you get Matt Carpenter, hoping that last year they had Forrest Wall a little bit as a kind of backup infielder to shift around and use in certain situations. And I think Matt Carpenter is going to fit into that spot when they do need it because they do like to switch out. Usually only one position for lefty righty matchups. And it was Rosario in left field. Now it might be just DH with him and Ozuna potentially.
Yeah, and just to kind of look into Matt Carpenter, so here's his baseball savant right here. This is last year. Obviously, this is pretty awful. Yeah, I guess he barrels baseballs pretty good and has good like
Hey,
he
he
doesn't chase.
walks.
He walks and doesn't chase, right? But obviously, I mean, you look at the expected batting average, 173. He hit 176. He had under a 650 OPS, and he was a DH. So it's really for the Braves. It's just like, all right, we can try to see if we can get anything out of this guy and get a decent left-hand bat. If we don't, whatever, it's $4 million, and we also added this reliever that is intriguing, that throws high velocity, that we can hopefully like get something out of. Because that's the thing, Ray Kerr throws like I want to say he throws like 99, and
Yeah.
he's looked like good at times, but then other times like his stuff it's kind of up and down. So it's kind of weird though because the Padres bullpen isn't like filled out, so it's kind of odd that they just dropped Ray Kerr. But overall, I mean, I think it kind of makes sense. Like I'm happy about it for the Padres side, just because it's like, all right, we need to just move on from some of these contracts. You need to kind of have a second where you can, and maybe that's what we're seeing because this is the response, right? Like this is the first thing they do after the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, and you're looking and you're like, well, okay, salary dump, but that might be what we end up seeing from the Padres this offseason. Also, side note, McConnell will not be here when we do this, but tomorrow, or I guess today, it's coming out on Saturday, 5 p.m. We're gonna do a live stream. So Saturday 5 p.m. we're gonna do a live stream just to talk about and also get any of your guys' questions too. Of like, where are the Padres at? What is the plan? What do we want to see them do? What is the future? What is the future with the team? Because I think that's very up in the air, and I think there's a lot of question marks about it. And it's just like, is this team going to try to win? Are they going to spend any money? Are they going to go after Blake Snell? Because Snell's been getting rumored to go to the Giants. They didn't get Jung Ho Lee, right? He just went to the Giants too. So it's like, okay, well, you're just passing up these contracts because they're expensive. And there's an argument to do that. Like, there's definitely an argument to do that. But it is rough when you trade Juan Soto and then your division rival gets Shohei Ohtani. That is bad. So I
Matt,
think
can I
that.
make a suggestion?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I think the Padres should give AJ Preller a minority stake in the team, because if he's going to bring the franchise into the ground like he's trying to do, he should at least suffer some like immediate consequences in terms of net worth.
I mean, not the worst idea. I mean, AJ Preller's. It's kind of crazy how many of these contracts we've had to talk about, like where it's like, oh, yeah, this contract didn't work. It was really bad. It was as bad as it could have been. um, But this is one of them. Like, this is what we're discussing today. It's like, okay, that didn't work at all. That was a bad contract. Now, want to talk about the return that the Padres got, Drew Campbell. So trying to find prospect grades. I can't find any, but last year in Double A, he hit 250, a little over a 400 slugging, a 711 OPS. Nothing like crazy impressive. It looks like he's a decent fielder. I mean, that's what it seems like, just like looking at kind of like his numbers and stuff. He plays right field. He's a lefty, so maybe they see something. I mean, the Padres, I will give Preller actual credit for this. When they grab these like random guys that they trade for, they've got some serious value in those trades. It's when they make these big splash moves, and it's mostly the signings that they make where it's like, oh, that did not work. That did not work at all. But Adrian Pillar is good at kind of finding diamonds in the rough. So at least there's that aspect of it. And I do find it interesting too, because like this guy like is probably gonna play spring in spring training. Like he's probably gonna get an opportunity, and we'll see what the Padres do in outfield. But right now, and this was the problem with the Juan Soto Trent Grisham trade, everyone's like, oh well, they're trying to fill up their pitching holes. Dude, they got two starters. They lost their two other starting outfielders. They didn't fill holes. They just swapped them. Like they just changed it out. So it's like that doesn't make any sense. That's why I was so confused when people would like not like from the Padres side, like when Padre fans were like satisfied with that trade. It's like, well, what are you getting out of this? Oh, you get some control for pitching. It's like, okay, well, let's see if those guys are even good. We'll see what Michael King has, but like, so I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. But that's kind of where I'm at on this Matt Carpenter trade. For the Brave side, like I think it's a win-win. Like I don't think there's much here, but I think it's a win for both sides. Padres free up some money, get a left-handed outfielder bat, get some, they free up the money. They do lose Ray Kerr, which is a little odd, but I guess they didn't really see a future with him in their bullpen, and honestly, that's fine. He was kind of up and down through the minors. The Braves, you potentially get a left-handed relieving specialist in Ray Kerr, and you're gonna kind of get a shot in the dark with Matt Carpenter, which I don't think will work, but the Braves are in a spot to be able to make moves like this. The Padres aren't. The Padres aren't in a move to be like, hopefully Matt Carpenter works out this year. The Braves are. So that's why I think it makes a lot of sense for both these teams. But that's kind of all my thoughts. McConnell, you have anything else you want to add to just this? Maybe you have a comment on the Padres as a Braves fan.
Um, I'm sorry. I guess that's probably my best comment is I'm sorry to Padres fans, and shout out to everyone that's pro trading Juan Soto for that enormous enormous haul they were able to receive. I mean, that's what you got to do when you get rid of superstars. Matt's used to losing. I think this is another loss, but at least you guys got rid of Matt Carpenter. I think that's a plus. You don't have to watch him ever bat again for the Padres, which I think Matt's pretty happy about.
It was good. We don't have to watch Matt Carpenter and Trent Grisham. That's a win in
Yeah.
itself because those were some
Oh,
rough at bats, dude. Those were some just you go up there, Matt Carpenter, just it did not look good. Trent Grisham had maybe the ugliest swing in the sport. He's gone now. So I guess yeah, glass half full, right? You don't have to watch
yeah.
those guys anymore. There you
And
go.
you saved $4 million I mean, that's 2 years of Shohei Ohtani, apparently. So
You said you saw that
I
on
don't
a
know. Maybe you
comment,
guys are
right?
getting Stroman. I don't know. Maybe you guys are using big moves right here.
If they're gonna free up any money, it's gotta be Roki Sasaki. That's who it's gotta be because he's apparently gonna get posted. We've talked about him on the channel a ton, but he's like Yamamoto's getting a lot of hype. Roki Sasaki's younger and probably better. So that would be our guy, but we'll talk about that more in the future. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all soon. Hop on 5 p.m. We'll be going live, kind of just going over everything that's going on with the Padres. So we'll see y'all then. Have a great night or have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you later tonight. Have a good one. Peace.